The recent collapse of the Assad regime has further weakened Iran's axis of aggression, but it also carries with it many risks. One of them is that weapons, including chemical weapons, could fall into the hands of jihadists. Another one is that jihadists could take control of territories at Israel's northern border. Israel must and will protect itself from those dangers. This is why Israel took control of the buffer zone between the Golan Heights and Syria, a buffer zone that was created after the disengagement agreement of 1974 between Israel and Syria. This agreement was signed with a government that no longer exists and with a state that has been disintegrating. The Syrian army has abandoned its position in the buffer zone, and it would have been filled by jihadists had Israel not taken control of it. The IDF's presence in the buffer zone is a defensive and temporary measure. It constitutes an act of self-defense as defined by Article 51 of the UN Charter. This principle permits states to act unilaterally to prevent imminent threats to their sovereignty and the safety of their populations. While crossing into the buffer zone might appear to contravene the 1974 agreement, the need to neutralize immediate threats makes this move justified and legal. The leader of the dominant Syrian rebel group, Abu Muhammad al-Jolani, is a known terrorist and the head of Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, a U.S.-designated terrorist organization with a $10 million bounty on his head. Israel is justified not to want him next to its border. Countries that demand Israel's withdrawal from the buffer zone fail to provide a credible alternative. And one wonders why those countries have nothing or little to say about Turkey's military operations and occupation in northern Syria. Turkish-backed forces have conducted indiscriminate airstrikes on Kurdish-populated areas targeting civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, power grids, and water supplies. These actions have displaced thousands, caused immense suffering, and constitute clear violations of international humanitarian law. Despite extensive documentation by human rights organizations, the international response to Turkey's actions has been muted. We call upon our European partners to recognize Israel's move for what it is, a legitimate, legal, and temporary act of self-defense.